Happy Halloween, everyone! So, I want to thank everyone for joining me here at my YouTube channel, Enchantress of Avalon. I am Miranda, and I will be your Enchantress of Avalon, guiding you on a journey into the land's mystical and especially to Avalon. So, for today's video, I've decided I'm going to be doing a discussion about the Green Knight. Well, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, actually, because I actually just saw the movie last week with my husband, and I enjoyed it. I thought the movie was really beautifully done. The cinematography was incredible, the costuming was gorgeous. I thought it was a very beautiful movie to watch. I thought it was very well done. I, however, thought that some of the Arthurian details were lacking. I was a little disappointed that everyone in the cast seemed to be about 10 to 20 years older than their character should have been during the events that transpired. Gawain is supposed to be this very young, very fresh-faced knight. He's supposed to be no more than 18 or 20 when this occurs, and you had a 30-year-old actor playing him. He did a superb job, but it kind of took me out of the element. So that was one of my major flaws with the film. And also, I didn't like that it didn't show the ending. It showed this alternate universe ending that was kind of confusing and upsetting until I realized, oh, that's a dream sequence. But it didn't show the real ending. So that's why this video is going to be discussing the actual original tale by it was an anonymous poet that wrote this back in the Middle Ages. And we know this poet as either the Pearl poet or the Gawain poet because this is what they were known for having written. So, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight starts at a feast at Christmas time. It's a Yuletide feast in the Arthurian court of Camelot. So, Gawain is there at his uncle's court because Gawain is the nephew of Arthur. That is covered in the film, but specifically it doesn't say that he's come there to be a knight and that he has been there for a bit already. He wasn't totally brand new, as they seem to make him out to be in the film. And he was the son of Arthur's sister, Morgause. Excuse me. Morgause did not at all appear in the tale of the Green Knight. And the mother figure in this, although she's never named, is actually Morgan Le Fay. I love that. Okay, I adore Morgan Le Fay, and she does belong in the story, but she's specifically referred to as his aunt, as an enchantress, as a fairy, and as a goddess. She is never referred to as his mother because she was not his mother. This is yet another example of conflating Morgause and Morgan Le Fay. It happens all the time, especially in recent adaptations and recent books and things like that. So I could do an entire video on that. I think I probably will, talking about how they're conflated because I think it's a very interesting topic. But moving on. Gawain takes a challenge from this knight that has come into the court, and he is green-skinned. And I have to say, I love the way they did the makeup for the Green Knight in the film. I was incredibly impressed. I thought he looked just fantastic. And I liked that they made him more of this kind of woodland hunter as opposed to just he's in green armor, which a lot of like drawings of the Green Knight tend to go with like, oh, he's in green armor. But this went with he was actually like this hunter and this woodland god figure, which is congruent with some earlier traditions that the Green Knight is drawing upon as a story. So I really liked that interpretation, and I loved the makeup. It was incredible. Now, let's go further. The challenge is, if you strike a blow on me, you will allow me to return that same blow in a year and a day. I know in the movie they just said a year, but it's actually technically a year and a day. And a year and a day is a really important thing in Celtic culture, and remember that is where Arthurian literature started. A year and a day is the time frame for anything, including like hand fastings, which are marriages, but they were temporary until a year and a day. If the couple, having been married for a year and a day, still loved each other and still wanted to be committed to each other, then the marriage became permanent. That's how it worked. But it also was this really great thing that Celtic tribes had. If it didn't work out, if you realize this person isn't right for you, after a year and a day, you could part and just go your separate ways. No harm done. Unless a child was born. If you had a child, then it would, of course, make your marriage completely legitimate and permanent. Anyway, so that's what this is drawing upon. So, yeah, Gawain goes, picks up the axe, and chops off the head of the Green Knight. Then the Green Knight picks up his own head, and his head speaks, says, I will see you in a year and a day at the Green Chapel. Come and find me then. And it's like, okay, he's not actually dead. That's really interesting. It's this great thing. I think for me, it sort of connects Arthurian literature with horror films, and those are two of my favorite things in the world. So I'm really in love with that whole premise. I think when I first read Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, I had not seen many. I hadn't really seen horror films yet, but I loved it. I was so enchanted by the story. And then when Freddy vs. Jason came out, and when I saw it maybe a couple years after it came out because I was still pretty young when it came out. And I saw the end where Jason's holding Freddy's head and Freddy's head winks. I got serious Sir Gawain and the Green Knight flashbacks from that, and I still do every single time I see that movie. So, yeah, that's where my brain goes. My brain lives in Arthurian literature land, and my heart lives in Avalon. Hence why I'm here talking about these things. So, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight continues on, and he has this year and a day where he's living his life until he has to go on his journey. Well, it's less than a year and a day because he has to be at the Green Chapel in a year and a day. And it comes to time when he has to, move forward. I thought the movie did something very interesting in showing what he would psychologically be going through, waiting for this, thinking he's going to die. And I thought that was really beautifully done. I enjoyed that they went and they talked about that because in the original text, it just skips to, okay, a year and a day later. Okay, now he's going on his journey. So he goes through his journey in the original text and eventually finds himself at the castle of Bertilac and Bertilac's lady. And Bertilac treats him very well. He's a hunter. So every day he goes off and hunts. And he says to Gawain, you have free reign to do whatever you'd like in my household. You just have to show me what you did. Like, anything that happens to you here, you have to show me when I come home. So that leads to when Bertilac's lady is propositioning him and she kisses him, he always gives a kiss to Bertilac, excepting one thing, and that is the third day, which is the final day that he's there before going to meet the Green Knight at the Green Chapel. She also gives him a sash for protection, and he doesn't tell Bertilac. And that comes into importance at the very end. I should also mention there was another lady at the household who was very ugly and very old, and this is the classic trope of an old crone, and you see it a lot throughout Arthurian literature, having a beautiful, beautiful woman, and you have an ugly woman. So that being said, he goes to meet the Green Knight at the Green Chapel, and he lets the knight swing at him. The knight swings at him 3 times. And on the 3rd time, he nicks his neck. Just a little nick. And then the old woman who is in the castle comes and performs some magic and reveals that the Green Knight was actually Bertilac in disguise. And she was Morgan Le Fay. Now, I'm trying to think in the original text if they actually show if she actually comes forward and shows her, or Bertilac might just describe it. But I like to picture her actually being there and taking the enchantment off because I think it's more dramatic. And so Bertilac explains that this was a challenge set forth for him, and it was his aunt, the goddess Morgana, who used her fairy magic to glamour him into looking like the Green Knight. And she had a plot that she wanted to scare Guinevere to death. That's why she sent him there. But when you accepted it, she decided to set this forth as a challenge for you. The only reason I nicked your neck was because you admitted to my wife kissing you, but you did not admit to her giving you a token for protection. And that is why you have a nick. You would not have gotten nicked at all had you not done that. That was your, flaw in all of this. So Gawain returns to Camelot, and everyone is so thrilled that he has succeeded. He's gone on this quest. He's an official knight. It's huge. This is his big time quest. But he feels guilty because he wasn't perfect on this quest. He fucked up. He didn't tell Bertilac about that, token, and that was his mistake. But everyone tells him, it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. It's fine. And he forever carries a symbol of this token with him. And it becomes his shield has this token on it. And of course, green becomes his ultimate color. And of course, he becomes associated with his aunts even more so, the goddess Morgana Le Fay, or the fairy queen Morgana Le Fay, whatever you want to refer to her as. There is actually one subsequent story about Gawain, but I don't have time to go into that today. I will just say it's the story of Gawain's marriage to the Dame Ragnall, and it's another trope of a knight marrying a fairy woman, which is very common in Arthurian literature. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed this very special Halloween post with me in my conical hat. Well, or I should say the Halloween video with me in my conical hat. Now, I am so appreciative of everyone who subscribes, so please hit that subscribe button and don't be afraid to comment, and also check out my website, my blog, whiteroseofavalon.life, and I will see you there. So I will see you next week, same day, Sunday. And until then, my name is Miranda, and I'm your Enchantress of Avalon. I hope you've enjoyed our journey into the lands mysterious. Bye.